Hey, village folks. Hey, village folks. Hey, it's your girl Narise, and it is technically Wav Wednesday, and I know I'm on here late as fuck. Um, I mean, I know there's nobody like jumping in the live stream right now, but they're coming in, and then also people who might be watching the playback. Um, so I had a whole agenda of what I was gonna do for the live stream today, really for my whole day, but there was a lot of the things that I planned to do got done and like the time management got a little crazy, but ended up working out anyway. Like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Um and I had a plan for what I wanted to do with the live stream, and then it just like went awry. But in like a good way though, because I ended up using most of this day to kind of like do some self-care and like pamper and restore and recharge my energy. Um And if my life were anything like the Truman Show, you probably already know. But I mean, and the thing was, I felt like I wasn't getting nothing done, but I was getting a lot done though. Like a lot got done. It just wasn't some of the things that I had planned for the day. But it's okay just because it's like a lot kind of going on in my life. In terms of like my living situation and just like trying to clean the house and then also maintain my own health, um, spiritually, energetically, and all these things. And so, yeah, but I did work on music a little bit. So like the taking the lead beat that I had been doing for a while, I like started like adding more to it, and I had already started writing to it, and what I wrote, I had to rearrange the beat. So I was like, all right, let me just rearrange it real quick. And then in me rearranging it, I found a new sound in the track, and so I was like chopping it up, kind of like giving it very much a hip hop feel, and yeah, and so like I'm loving the like progression of it, but now I have to like piece it together and make sure like each section like blends into each other like seamlessly. And then I'm like, because of the additional like sample that I added in there, like it gave me more room to add like some vocals. So I'm like, okay, but I mean, it's a good thing I didn't start recording the vocals to that song yet. But now like I'm in the process of like rearranging the whole beat, and that wasn't even the song that I was gonna like work on today. But it's okay. Like I feel like things are happening in divine timing as they need to. Um, and I'm just gonna like roll with the punches, I guess. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of like what's been going on. But aside from that, like I said, I spent a lot of time like getting into like self-care things that was like long overdue, because technically it is new moon, or at least it was like the last few days. I mean, but like a few days before and a few days after, it still has that energy. um yeah, and so I've just been kind of like getting my affairs in order, and yeah, just like getting my life together, and getting my energy right. And also like I was like washed and conditioned my hair. I still have to do my hair, mind you. And yeah, I was gonna live stream earlier, but then I just like the things that I planned to do progressively like took me longer to do, and I was just like, whatever, fine. um but yeah, so that's kind of what my focus was today. And it was just kind of like just a bit like it felt like I didn't get anything done, but I got a lot done. And when I really like thought about it, I was like, yeah, I did that, got this done. I was working on music at one point. I was cleaning a little bit. Um, like wash my hair, wash, condition my hair, took a bath, did this, did that. So like there was a lot that happened. It was just like the scheduling of it all wasn't the best, but it's fine. But I did want to get on here at least for a bit, not a long time, just because, like I said, I still got to do my hair, and I wanted to do it tonight, um, just so I don't have to think about it later. Um, but what was I? What was I thinking? that I wanted to say? Well, for one, let me go through my normal spiel or, intro that I do. So, for those who don't know me, my name's Nerisse. I'm a singer, songwriter, visual artist, beat maker, producer, all the things musically and visually creative. And when I do these live streams, which are usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, well, the timing is a little up in the air right now, and it will be for a bit, maybe until like next month. I can figure out like what exactly my schedule could be on a more consistent basis. But for now, like in this month, it'll kind of be like up in the air. So like just bear with me, y'all. Um, but for the most part, on my live streams, you guys see me make beats. You see me work on songs. I record vocals. I do the engineering of it, the vocal arrangements, harmonies, stuff like that. Y'all will see me chop up samples or work on completely original beats, or I might play instruments. It's all of those things. And I'm not like the best instrumentalist, but I play enough like guitar to be able to get through a few songs and like, be able to add to some production. And then recently I did live streams showing my like process and doing like a photo shoot and styling a look, putting the set together, getting the lighting right, setting up the cameras. And it was my first time live streaming that process, and I mean, it's a lot to do. And the crazy thing is those live streams are like at least like 5 hours. Like one it was like over 5 hours, one was like over 6 hours. And but the thing was I did two different looks at the same like in on both days. So like I had to get my hair, makeup, stuff together, get the look together, get the set right, take the pictures, switch the look. And then of course I was doing my TED Talks in between because that's just how I be. Um and y'all love me for it. And yeah, so there was that. And and it's crazy because those live streams got like over 1,000, both of them. One was like over 1,000, another was over 1,000 views. Which is interesting. But I mean I can understand it because like you're physically seeing something happen in the live streams. And it was very like interactive in a way. Um but yeah, and I had a lot of fun doing that. It's not something that I do a lot, but when I do enjoy the process. I mean, I'm like a girly girl. I love to dress up and look good and take pictures and feel confident and all those things. Very much for fulfilling for my inner child that like struggled with my look and insecurity and stuff like that, and always wanting to get to a space where I can like figure out my swag and know what my looks are, what looks good on me and stuff like that. So I'm grateful to be in that space where I feel like comfortable and confident within myself in that way, especially as a creative. Because I always had the eye for it, but I just didn't know exactly how to like execute it for me. But now I figured it out. So yeah, and you guys, I live streamed that process, and if you go back in the live streams, you can see that on YouTube. Kick, it might still be on there, but I know Kick as I keep making live streams, it doesn't all stay up there. Um, but yeah, that's what I do. And on these live streams, I show you guys my process and my creativity. And I had a whole thing planned for today, but I feel like just with everything that's kind of going on in my personal life, um, some of these live streams are just gonna have to like be very simplified compared to how it used to be. Just because like the process of me like making a beat, like I would have to like move my desk and get in front of the set area and then like set up my equipment and then have my microphone. And for a long time I was doing the live streams on my computer, but I was having issues with Wi-Fi. And so I started doing it on my phone, but my phone actually pushes the algorithm in my favor in that way. um, and so I've just kind of been doing that, but also at the same time, I do kind of miss live streaming on my computer because it's just easier that way. Um, and with my phone, I gotta like set up the tripod and put it in a particular way while I'm working on the computer. It's a whole thing. So I'm still figuring out the best system that works for me as I like progressively do these things. But it's a learning journey. You guys get to be with me along the way. And yeah, so like I said, I'm an artist, I'm a singer. I have music that you can check out. I have an EP called Divine that's on all streaming platforms. It came out in 2020. It's my first official release as a solo artist. So do check that out. It's a project that I'm proud of. It came out a while ago, but there's some good songs on there. And if you really enjoy it, if you really like it, and you want to support your girl, you can purchase a few physical copies on my website, Narisse.com. And it's really cool because I have physical copies of CDs and flash drives. And the flash drives are dope because it has the EP on there, a lyric book that I designed because I wrote all the songs. There's a visual project on there. There's pictures, and the cool thing about the pictures is each flash drive has different pictures, all from the same like photo shoots that I did during that time in that era. um and there's affirmations on there too, and like some other things as well. So it's like it's very much a collector's item. If you're a real one, if you're a real village member, if you're a real Nerisse stan, um that's very much a vibe. So there's that. And then also I do have songs on SoundCloud too that I've been pushing. Like that's kind of like the place where I've been doing like my one-off like covers, or like if I want to remake a song or something like that. And it's not necessarily like a single or an official project that I want to like release on like DSPs or anything like that, but just like I like the song, I want to cover it. Or if I do cover videos on YouTube, I recently, well not recently, maybe like last year, um use the audio from that and put it on SoundCloud because I was using the audio in GarageBand, and it was like better quality than some of the old cover videos I would do where I would just record on my camera mic rather than like a quality vocal mic. Um so yeah, that's on SoundCloud. Check me out on SoundCloud. And yeah, all the links are in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching on Kick, it's in my panels. So do check those out. Yeah, so that is that. And then also check out Sweet Life. That's the most recent release that I came out with. And yeah, I'm excited about that song. Just because I've loved it for so long. And I kind of like remade it into my own way and changed some of the lyrics in a way where it resonates more with me and my experience and my story. So yeah, check out Sweet Life. And yeah, I think that's all the promotional things for now. Um, yeah, and just like the other videos that I have on my YouTube. And thank you so much for the people who've been like joining the live stream, subscribing. Like the subscribes just keep going up, and I'm very grateful for that. For the people who are willing to join the village and be a part of this movement. I'm so grateful for you guys that show up and enjoy the vibes enough to say, what, I'm gonna subscribe. And I know like it's crazy because I feel like a few months ago I was just at like, I mean, I know this might not seem like anything to people, especially if my life were anything like the Truman Show, it really should be a lot more. But I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful to build something on my own, and that's purely mine. So that's fine. I'll be patient and I'll wait my turn until things, catch up to what it should be. But I'm grateful for each subscribe and each step of the way. And it's crazy because like a few months ago, I think I was at like 160, and right now I'm like at 230. So I mean, like I know to some people that might not seem a lot because there's people who are like in the thousands and they got like 10,000 subscribers and they want to get to 100,000 and they're trying to get to a million and all these things. But I'm very grateful for like the baby steps in the journey, and just taking the process with patience and being appreciative to every way, just every step forward. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, thank you so much to everybody that's been subscribing and enjoying the vibes and really enjoying the village. And again, for those who are new, what is the village? I like to call the village my community, just because some of us might have grown up in certain environments or spaces where we might not have felt like seen, heard, and felt safe to be our truest version of ourselves. And from y'all who've been watching my live streams, I like to be in my motivational bag. If it's not a TED talk, it's definitely coming through in music. And I just really want this to be a safe space for folks who feel that way and who feel like, they have to hide who they are, or, people see you that's in a way that's not authentic or true to who you are. And maybe you feel like you have to like conform or condense yourself instead of just being truly who you are because you're scared of people's opinions, or if people would not interpret who you are the right way. And I just want to let people know that it's okay to be who you are, as long as you're building blessings for the good of all and breaking curses for the harm of none, and that's really what my intention is. And I try to do that every day. And I understand certain battles in life require us to be a little bit more vigilant in terms of like standing up for yourself or defending yourself in a way. And sometimes, and I'm not saying like be a doormat and just let people walk all over you. Like, absolutely not. Like, if there's a circumstance that calls you to be courageous and stand up for yourself, and maybe it's scary in the beginning if that's not how you are. I know what that's like. I know because at one point I was very like passive aggressive, and I like prided myself in being someone that wasn't in the midst of the drama. Like, I was cool with everybody, had a lot of friends in a lot of different spaces. And then at some point in my life, things took a turn, and I like fell out with a lot of people and like, burnt a lot of bridges and all these things. And I was just going through this phase, like kind of like the dark night of the soul, in a way, and just like spiritual warfare and all these things. And I know I talk a lot about that in my music. Just because it's very real for me. It's like a real experience. And I know it might seem taboo to some folks, but I feel like we're in a day and age where it's becoming like a normal thing to discuss. I mean, we see a lot of that, like with you TikTok, and some people do it for like, just like try to like fit in or find a space for them or whatever the case may be. And I feel like that's fine. Like, everybody has their journey and just trying to find their way and find their community. And I want to create a space that feels like a community, and feels like the support that I wish I had, and I want to be the support that other people might need. And just show people like, you can be brave, you can be courageous, you can believe in yourself, and regardless of what you're going through, you can get through it. And you're loved and you're enough. And if people are hating on you, fuck those people. Like, they're losers. And I don't like to call people losers, but there's some losers in the world, especially people who like take their time and energy to try to like, bring you down, or try to, you know pigeonhole you to a narrative, or try to make you out to be something that you're not, just because they're trying to project their own insecurities onto you, or whatever the situation and circumstance might be. I just want people to be in this space and feel like, you know, the truth is said here. And not only do we keep it real, but we have a good time, and we provide safety and understanding for folks that are oftentimes misunderstood and judged and attacked, and, just for existing or for whatever reason. And I take pride in that. So yeah, that's the village. That's what the village is for me. And you watching and subscribing and tuning in Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays to the live stream, to me, that, maybe you feel like you're a part of the village. And that's truly what I want. That's what I want. I want this to be a space where people feel safe and feel like they can be themselves. And it's okay, you know? So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I didn't really have like a set plan on what I was gonna like talk about when I got on here. Cause like I said, I had an agenda of what like really wanted to do, like musically. But then I kind of like changed plans just because like I said, my day just kind of like progressed a little bit longer than I expected it to. And yeah, but I did want to at least show up. I did want to show up and at least live stream for a little bit, even if it's for like a few minutes. Because y'all know I could find something to talk about. Um, but okay, I kind of know what I was gonna do. But what's interesting? So I reference the Truman Show a lot on here just because my life can feel like that sometimes. And if you know, you know. Uh, and I was just thinking, I mean, I'm pretty sure I thought about this before, and I may have even said it on one of these live streams. But what's interesting to me about the Truman Show is that, mind you, this is a situation that's happening. If you haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie. It's a movie with Jim Carrey. And basically, he was born and bought by a corporation and was raised in this fabricated reality, and where he thinks is it's his real life, it's real for him, but everybody in the town and in his life are actors, like literally all the way like down to his mom. And you know, the words just flow. Um and his wife and just everybody was fake, you know. And there was only one person that really like took a liking to him. Well, I would say maybe two people. I know most people say it's one, but I would say two, just because like there was this whole like fabricated traumatic situation around his father, and his father took the time and energy to sneak back on set to see him because, you know, I feel like he genuinely cared about Truman because it was his real life, and for everybody else it was just like a role to play. And yeah, and I reference that movie a lot. And the thing that I was thinking about earlier today, that is so crazy. It's like the nerve of these people to name him Truman. Yet everybody in his life was some fake ass motherfuckers. Like he was surrounded by fakery everywhere. And his name is Truman. But I mean, I guess because he was the only true person in this reality, like he was living this reality as true and to his truth. Um, and he was, I guess, the only true person in this. But yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. And I was just thinking about that. Um, you know, and there's just certain occurrences in my life that are very interesting, and me just trying to like figure out like what's the meaning of it all, you know, why why we go through the things that we go through, and you know, just trying to find your own way. And you know, some of us, like I said, and I guess full circle, it kind of relates back to the whole like concept of creating a village or creating your own community. You know, some of us might have been born into situations where, you know, say if we had like a parent or parents that wanted us to live a certain way and wanted to like dictate and control aspects of our lives and tell you what you should do with your life and in your body and your thoughts and your political beliefs and your actions, and you know, with your money, and you know, and just like your position in the world and what you want to do with your life. And you know, at some point, like, you know, I would like to think in some situations, like, you know, some parents do that with the best of intentions because they really care about their child. But I know some people just do that to be controlling. And, you know, I, as a creative, you know, like struggle with that in more ways than one. And, you know, naturally, when you're creative and you really take it seriously and want to pursue those things, you know, you're met with challenges like, oh, that's not a real career, that's not a real job, it might not be stable, this and that. And, you know, and that's like hard to deal with and it's hard to hear sometimes. Um, but you know, I feel like I've learned that you just got to keep moving forward anyway, and really just like believe in yourself and not give up on your goal and the vision that you see for yourself and your you know, your aspirations. And it could be challenging and it could feel like an uphill battle, but when it's something that you're passionate about or you enjoy and it brings you happiness, you know, it's worth the fight. So yeah, you know, I just want the space to be a reflection of that. And and yeah, and those circumstances could be interesting when you have people in your life trying to tell you what to do and then like blame you when, you know, like things don't turn out how they wanted it to for you. And it's like, you know, I have a song called Bring Down the House, and I say, you know, No, you can't tell me what to do. My body, mind, and soul don't belong to you. And that's just the facts. Like, and that could be, and specifically in writing now, I was talking about like spiritual warfare, but that could just be true with anything. Like, with just you trying to exist, or maybe you want to go to school, or maybe you want to pursue a certain thing in your life, or you want to do something, and you have people trying to like dictate and tell you what to do, what, what you eat and what you do and where you go. And it's like, I don't fucking belong to you. Like, I'm a being on this planet like anybody else. I'm a human being, and I believe myself to be a child of God. So, you know, and with that, there should be a level of freedom and free to be who you are and expression and all those things. And especially when you come up in situations where people try to control and manipulate you into doing things, and and then like blame you for it, which is crazy. Um, you know, and literally try to control every aspect of your life and justify it. And you know, it's not fair. And I know there's people who deal with that. And I just want to use my voice and my platform and my music to be a means to like let people who feel that way know, like, it's your life, and you should live your life the way you want to, and not based on what someone else wants of you. Because this is your life. And part of me kind of understands like how sometimes parents can feel like a little bit possessive because they created you technically, so they're like, oh, you're my child, I brought you into the world, but at the same time it's like, yeah, sure, you did that, grateful, and that's how we end up here on the planet. But your job is to raise me into being who I am naturally, and giving me the tools to survive in life, and then allowing me the freedom and the space to do that. And of course, that's not everybody's upbringing. That's not everybody's experience. Some people had to raise themselves, or some people didn't have anybody to raise them, and they just had to figure it out. Um, and regardless of what that looks like and what your journey is, you have a right to be here, and you have a right to live your truth, and you have a right to fight for your dreams and strive for the life that you want. Yearning for the life that you're wanting. And then also, um, knowing that you're a light in this world, and not to let anybody dim that. It's important, um, to know and be aware of. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like something that I had on my heart to say. So, cause y'all know, like, I could whip up a word. I could whip up a word. All right, but something that I did want to do. Um, I gotta step over here. Actually, let me unplug this because I got quite a few things plugged up over here. Okay, so I figured I'd just like play a little music for you guys. Just because like I wasn't gonna be working on music. Um, and I did update this beat, and I figured I'd show you guys like what it sounds like now. If not for anything like the Truman Show, you probably already heard enough. But this is for my village. This is for people who rock with me, and who genuinely are intrigued. So okay, let me turn the volume down because I know I had this blasting earlier, and it's so dope, like hearing it through my speakers. Because I was listening to this track on my phone, and I realized you can't really hear the bass line as well. Because I was like in another room down the hall, and with the music blasting, I was like, yo, you could really hear the bass line. And on my phone, you can't hear it like that. And mind you, this isn't like the most updated phone either. But you know how like it's different when you listen to certain songs on headphones, on stereo, in the car versus like on the phone. And so I was like, yo, this bass line goes so hard. And the thing is, the bass line is a part of the sample. And so I was like, yo, if I could like find a way to like isolate the stem files for this record and then like just have a moment with the bass line. Like, okay, let me just play this for y'all. Let me just okay, hold on. Oh wait, wrong button. I'm gonna switch the screen. There's gotta be a way. Oh fuck it. I'll just play it. And y'all can just hear it. Check it out. Check it out. This is the new part that I added. Check it out. 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 Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it, check it out, 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 check it out. Now I'm not gonna have this going on throughout the whole song, but I was just chopping it up to see the different ways I could play it. And then so I had to rearrange this part because this is where the verse was. And I had wrote something here. And I had to extend this part. So now I made this part by accident because I was still moving around the sample. And I was like, yo, this kind of go hard without the sample right here. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, 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 check it, check it, check it out, check it out, check it out. And then like I'm still working the beat, so like there's a random gap of space because I have to rearrange stuff. But but that bass line though. Yeah, love that. But yeah. And this is the sample by itself. Yeah, I know, random clip. But yeah, so like now the beat is kind of like a little all over the place just because I had to extend certain parts for what I was writing. Cause at first I just chopped up the sample and just like did what felt good. And then I was like, okay, I gotta write to it. And then when I was writing, like the part for the verse was what I wrote for the verse, I needed to extend the beat for because how the beat was flowing was that it would have only been like half the verse and then went back to like the pre-hook. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta rearrange the beat. And then me rearranging the beat, I found the check it out section. And then I was like, yo, let me chop that up. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it, check it out, check it out, check it, check it out, check it out, check it, check it out, check it out. Yeah, so I had that in there. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, 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 check it, check it, check it out, check it out, check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it out. You got it. I get it. You got it. I get it. Yeah, so that's kind of what's happening there. But you know, I do really like this section where the sample drops out. Yeah, so I love that part, right? And mind you, that happened by I wasn't even like planning that. And sometimes that'll happen when you're working on songs where like you'll just be like moving stuff around or playing with sounds and then things will happen. And that's kind of how I found that like check it out part because it was a part of like a sound pack that was already in the system. And I was like, yo, I need to use that. That go hard. So I have two vocal samples on here, which is interesting. And then like the part where like the sample drops out and it's just the yeah, like I fuck with that. And that should go so hard to me. Um and you know, because I will say like the cheat code with samples is that you really don't have to do a lot, you know, because the sample usually drives it, unless you're somebody that like rearranges the sample or you're chopping it up in a certain way. But if you have a sample like this, where the instrumentation in the sample is really good, it's one thing if you're like sampling like a vocal or maybe just like a bass line, but I'm sampling a song where the instrumentation of the song is really good by itself. And so I didn't really have to add much. I think initially I was just adding percussion and just doing the beat. And then I added like, okay, so for example, like this is just the sample, a bit of the sample by itself. And what's really dope about that is like the bass line is smooth, and then you got the horn section in there, and the drums that are in the song have like I'm assuming that they're playing some type of like a Congo type of situation. So there's so much richness and flavor in the instrumentation already in the sample by itself. Like the horns. This is the beginning. Hold on. This is the sample by itself. I looped the horns. Like the drums is already cool in here. And then when you add everything else in there, because what's really cool about this is like the horns is dope, the bass line is fly, the drums that's already in the song is dope, but I added my own drums to give it more of a hip hop feel, and which is this. And then I had a little hi-hat sound there. I got to change that because I want it to sound different. But what I ended up doing, which I think makes this track really cool, was like adding a melody too. I would show you guys this process. Like, I mean, there's a live stream where you guys see me make the beat in real time. So this part right here. Oh damn. I thought, okay, I wish you could. Yeah, this is like an additional melody that I added to them. Simple. It's literally like 3 notes, or technically like 6 notes, but it kind of adds like this I don't know, like It's simple, but it's a vibe though. And then with the drums, it gives it like the feel, the groove with the percussion and everything. And I feel like that alone, even though it's simple, it has such a groove to it that it really brings out the sample. And mind you, I was thinking like with a sample like that, you really don't need to add a lot, but I was like, I want to like challenge myself to like add melody on here. And I think, what sound is this? I think it's a synth sound, but I think it's like a horn. I don't think it's a horn. I think it's just a synth. Um, but yeah, like I added that and I was like, okay, I want to add more to, I guess like beef up the song. But and I didn't need to. Like the sample is solid on its own, but I really wanted to challenge myself as a producer. And I guess because I know I'm learning ways where less is more, but there are times where you can add more and it still like makes the song feel like richer sonically. And hopefully financially, because it's a play on words with the whole like money thing. Check it out, get the check. But yeah. But and the sample by itself is so good. But I really love the addition that I added to this because it gives it more of a hip hop feel. And that's what I was going for. Like I wanted it to feel like I mean, I already explained this before, but for those who are new, with this particular track, it it gives me like nostalgia of like 2000s hip hop movies, or not hip hop movies, like dance movies, specifically like Step Up, um, and Taking the Lead specifically, which happens to be like one of my favorites. And it's such a good movie. Like it's a good storyline, like the cast is good, the acting is solid, the music is good. And I approached this beat like I wanted it to be like something that could be on um Take the Lead with Antonio Banderas. And he's like this ballroom teacher that helps these inner city kids, the teacher savior movie. But it's really good though, and it's actually good. Um, and it's interesting because there's a song on that project, Feel It by Black Eyed Peas, and it's on the Monkey Business album with My Humps and what was the big song on that? Pump It Louder. Yeah, that album. But there's a song on there called Feel It, and it's got like it's such a good song. And it has like that like hip hop feel, and but then there's like a jazz moment at the end, and it's like I was like, oh, okay, Black Eyed Peas. And now the thing is, it's not that I didn't listen to Black Eyed Peas, but I listened to whatever was kind of like out there, and it was like one of the more like soulful sounding records that I really loved from that movie. And that movie kind of put me onto that sound. And then also like with some of like the main part of the storyline in that movie was like, like because these kids is like from the hood, like they love hip hop and shit like that, right? And so you got this ballroom teacher who's played by Antonio Banderas, and he's like this smooth suave guy, but he listens to like classical music or the music that's played in like for like the salsa and the waltz and the rumba and stuff like that, and they like, oh, this music is corny, and so they put like a little flip to it, and so they'll mix it with hip hop, and so that was kind of like his like compromise on how he was teaching them. And um I always thought that that was really cool. And I was like, my approach to this beat was like, I feel like this is something that could be in that movie. Even though like I don't know, like so this particular song is San music. It's like Afro-Cuban. And I don't know if I pronounced that right. San. It's literally like SON, is how it's spelled. And and so like it just naturally has this groove that makes you want to dance. And And so I was like, okay, how do I add like a hip hop flavor to it? And I remember just always loving that sample. And I've had this sample like in the vault for years. Like this was such an old idea like years ago when I heard this. I was like, yo, this would be a really dope sample. And it was before I knew anything about production. It was before I even had like my own MIDI controller or DAW system to make beats with. But I just knew I had the ear for it. And mind you, maybe I might have like found that sample in like somewhere between like 2016 and 2018, which is almost like 8 to like 6 years ago, which is crazy. Like this is a long time ago. But I mean, when you have samples like that where the music is just so good, and mind you, I don't know when that song came out. That song came out a long time ago. So it's like there's naturally gonna have like that timeless element to it. And then I was like, the percussion, I feel like it could easily just give it that hip hop feel with the beat alone. But then I was like, nah, I need to add more to it, even though it's already like dope. But I feel like it doesn't sound like too much. Like I feel like everything just sounds just right. Um, you know, and then when the beat comes in, uh, mm, mm. And I feel like this might be one of my favorite beats that I've made so far. But really, I didn't have to do too much because the sample does most of the work. But I do like the section where I take the sample out and you just hear the beat, and it's like really driven by the percussion. And then when the sample cuts out, it's like, oh yeah, the beat still go hard even without the sample. Like even my additions alone, solid. Oh yes, I silence this part. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it out, check it out. Yeah, but okay, hold on, let me run that part back. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it out, check it out. You gotta check it out, check it out, check it out. I get the check it, check it, check it out, check it out, check it out. You gotta. I get the check, check, check. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it out, check it out. I get the check it out, check it out, check it out. I get the check it, check it, check it out, check it out, check it out. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, because sometimes I feel like in this day and age, um, I've heard people say, with I mean, there's a lot of people who complain about different things when it comes to sampling. Like I think back to um like something that Prince has said, because I mean, he's a brilliant musician, and I mean, he's right, to a degree, but I don't always agree just because I feel like there's people who like really make sampling an art and do it so well where it like, yeah, there's elements of a song, but it feels like a whole new world because of the sampling. And I think like something that Mass Appeal would do is like a rhythm roulette where they would have producers go to a record shop, pick three random records, and then find a way to sample something out of those three and make it all one song. And I feel like that's brilliant. I haven't done anything like that yet. I'm actually kind of working on a track, something like that. Maybe not three samples, but two different samples. And I learned a way to make it like cohesive. I just haven't gotten around to working on that beat yet. But but yeah, I think that's a whole thing in itself because you got songs in different BPMs, different time signatures and keys and stuff like that. And to find a way to like mix it well together, like even when DJs do that live, like when they do a set and they mix and blend songs, like you have to blend songs in a way where they're in the same key, you know? Like it's one thing. And when they have like the craziest blend, like I saw this clip on TikTok of this girl that mixed Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield with Juvenile's Back That Ass Up. Crazy ass mix, but it went hard though, and it actually worked. And I'm like, you have to have like that's a masterful skill to be able to like put those two put two different songs together, let alone songs with such a contrast like that. Um yeah, but and the one but I think that in itself makes sampling really cool, but I understand where people complain about like samples where it's like the people of today just sample hit records because they can't make a hit record themselves. And the crazy thing is the samples that I'm using aren't even really popular songs. Like they're very niche, it's very underground, or it's a very specific genre. Like I said, this is an Afro-Cuban song. I don't know anybody who's ever played this song. I forget how I even found this song. It'll come to me at some point, but it's not a popular song, but it will be though. Um, and even some of the other records that I sampled were like underground artists. And, I mean, they're popular now, but, and performing and stuff like that. But, you know, um, it's not like I need the hit for it. You know what I mean? Um, and, yeah, and so I get that complaint, and I feel like that's something that people might have said about like Sweetie or whatever. But I'm like, you could say the same thing about P Diddy though, or Bad Boy, and all the beats that they were making, like with like Mary J. Blige albums. Like a lot of her records were old school samples, like re-flipped into like a more modern feel, and it felt more like like the music that like the elders listened to, but in a new way where the girls from around the way could like, you know, like enjoy the vibes. And yeah, and like that would be the formula at Bad Boy. Like, sample a hit old school record, like the Mace John. I'm coming out. I know I sang that wrong, but you know, mm, mm. But anyway, I don't want to go down that bag. But yeah, so I mean, I get the argument about samples, but I feel like there's ways that you can do it and make it dope. And then there's some samples where you don't have to add a lot, and then there's samples when you can add a lot. And I feel like Kanye is really good at that too. Kanye, Q-Tip, um, and I've said multiple times that they're some of my favorite producers. So, and that was kind of like what I wanted to challenge myself with these um live streams. I wanted to push myself, and when I was like just getting back into producing because I haven't made beats in a while. But with this particular season, um I was like, you know what, I want to get back into making beats. And then I was like just challenge myself in different ways. And I'm like, all right, you know what, I had these ideas for these samples a long time ago. Fuck it, let's try that. And I made this beat, and I'm very proud of this beat. I feel like it's dope, and it's one of my favorites right now. Sonically, and so I'm just like, I'm still piecing together how I want it to flow. Um because then again, I'm still like writing to it. And then as I was like fixing the beat and like extending it, I came up with more shit. So yeah, it's fun. But that's kind of like what I was working on earlier today. I had to like I mean, I wasn't really like building the beat too much. I was just tweaking stuff like cuz I noticed like maybe the drums was like off by like a millisecond and I could hear it. And I'm like, okay, let me fix that. And then with the sample, with the check it out, 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 check it out. Like I had to like clean that up in certain parts. Um, but I was really excited to um, build upon this beat. And then like upon me working on it today, and then like just being in the middle of something and going back and forth between listening to the beat and hearing it from like a room across, I was like, yo, this bass line, like for whatever reason, the bass line really stuck out to me this time around. Cause I feel like when I hear this, the the instrument that stands out the most is like the horn section. And I wasn't really listening to for the bass line like that, but then I really heard the bass line more in the stereos. And I was like, yo, I need a section like how there's that section in the song where the sample is out. I'm like, if I could isolate the stems on the instrument on the sample and just like layer that with the beat, like that'll be fire. Where I could like add the bass line, then add the congos, then add the horn section. And then like that would give me so much more like leeway and freedom in terms of like building the track. um but I'm literally just doing this based on like the individual track itself. Now I did find like a software that isolates tracks, so and I know that that exists, like that's a thing where there's different things that like apps and stuff like that where they can isolate the different sounds in that way, where it's like you can separate the bass line and separate the vocal sections. And I feel like that's so dope. So if I could figure out how to do that and then like separate some of the stuff, that'll make everything so much easier for me. And plus like that adds more fun to like just being able to like really chop up the sample and layer it in, because I like to do that. I like to build on the song where it's like, okay, you hear the sample and then you hear the tambourine section and then the kicks and the snares come in and then like the horn section comes in. And so if I'm able to like break that up with the sample itself, because a lot of times I'm literally just working on the sample as one track. And it's like cool, like I could work with it that way, but it's more it would be more advantageous for me to be able to separate those sections and build it individually as if I'm working with the actual instrumentalist. But either way, I was gonna make it work one way or another. It was gonna work in my favor. And I was just gonna figure it out. Yeah, but I really am enjoying this track. The production. I haven't even added the vocals yet. And I'm glad that I didn't, because I literally came up with more parts. And so like even with that check it out sample, I know I have to like separate it because like it's too many vocals in a way. So I have to do it where it flows well and it's not overwhelming, because I have to add my vocals too. Because I wrote like a chorus and a verse and stuff like that. And then there's a way where I can like play along with the track too, and add my vocals mixed in with that sample. Um so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to really like build upon this track. And I wanted to at least show you guys that. Um, even though I know I wasn't really working on music today like I planned to, but I did want to at least have like a musical moment with you guys and show you guys my process that I've done so far. Just because like I know there's a live stream where I worked on the beat and literally from scratch, and you guys like watch that process, but I had like changed it um since then, and I was like, I need to let the village know that, oh yeah, we added and changed some stuff to this beat, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on, and just like what I was doing earlier today, on top of like just everything else I was doing like around the house and just like with like self-care and stuff like that. So um yeah, I know this wasn't like the full length Wave Wednesday, and I did start kind of late, but I did want to show up. Okay. If it's one thing I'm gonna do, I am gonna show up. Okay. Um, so yeah, there's that. And what I've been on here for like an hour now. So yeah, I'm just going to conclude this and then wish you guys a good night. And then and now that's got me thinking like I gotta see what my Fire Friday is gonna look like. I'll be on here, okay? Like that's going to happen. Like I'm going to show up and be here. But I had a kind of an elaborate plan for Fire Friday, but that was based on what I would have gotten done today, which didn't happen. So we'll see. But I mean, then again, like I said, like there's a lot going on in my life. In my life or anything like Truman Show, you already know. And I'm just trying to get certain things together and, get my finances, you know, right and just like, you know, get certain things in my life together and just like handle certain stuff. So like it's stuff going on in my personal life. And if my life were anything like a normal human being, I wish I could just like vaguely say that without people knowing what the fuck is going on because it's really not nobody's business. But soon come. We're slowly but surely getting to that space and time in my life where I can regain some type of privacy and dignity with that. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about that. But yeah, it's been a long day and yeah, and I didn't want to be up too late and I still got to do my hair. But anyway, all right, y'all. So I hope y'all were entertained. I hope y'all enjoy the beat and enjoy my little, you know, motivational talk today. Cause I can always go into a motivational bag, okay? So yeah, there's that. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that was all the points that I wanted to make. So, as y'all know, or maybe if you're new, maybe you don't know, I like to conclude my live streams on a high vibrational note. Usually I'll play a sound bowl, but because it's kind of late and they can get a little loud, um, I won't. But if not a sound bowl, then I'll also say a prayer because that's the type of gal that I am. And yeah, and just love a positive word. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So um yeah, I'll freestyle the prayer today. Um Bow your head. You don't actually have to bow your head. But regardless of denomination, regardless of your spiritual beliefs and your spiritual background, I say this prayer with the best of intentions for anyone watching in real time or watching the playback, for your best interest in mind, um, mentally, physically, spiritually, um, financially, all the things. So, with that said, God, thank you so much for this life, for all the blessings that you've blessed us with thus far. Thank you for the successes and for the wins, even if we don't even see it. And thank you for the wins that might be disguised as a setback or a challenging circumstance or a test, but because you know that there's a win on the other side of that. Thank you. Thank you for the challenges. Thank you for the tests. And thank you for the setbacks that's really just there to propel us forward. May we recognize those things in real time. May we learn the lessons that we need to learn. May we grow. May we evolve. May we be informed and continue to learn and grow and be the best version of ourselves, not only for ourselves, but the people around us, for the villages that we create in our own lives, and for the people who love us. And may we lead by example and do the right thing and take care of ourselves and take care of the people around us and show people what it looks like to be an example of love, be an example of hope, be an example of freedom and truth and elevation. And hopefully, by our existence as we move in this world with the best of intentions for the good of all and the harm to none, we can inspire other people to do the same. So it is, so it will be. Much gratitude for what's already been and what's yet to come. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live stream. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said before, I have music on all streaming platforms, so do check that out. And if you really enjoy the vibes, you can purchase at Narisse.com. If you're watching on YouTube, the links are in the description. If you're watching on Kick, the links are in the panel. And check out my SoundCloud, stream the music over there. I hope you enjoy the vibes. And yeah, I hope you felt inspired. I hope you felt entertained and uplifted. And I hope you enjoyed the music because, that's what we do it for. All right. Have a good night. And I will see you guys for Fire Friday. And I'm going to do better with posting. I normally post on YouTube. So for the folks that watch on Kick, I'm sorry. But I usually post on YouTube in a community area and just let you guys know, like, oh, Fire Friday's on. I know I haven't been doing that lately, but I've still been showing up and doing the live streams. It's just like late, but I usually, like I said, Music Monday, Wave Wednesday, Fire Friday, and if it changes, then it's like maybe it's like a creative um visual or something like that. But usually those are the days. And then every now and then I might like pop on live sometime in between that. So like, you might catch me on like a Tuesday or something like that. Either way, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you really enjoy the vibes, if you genuinely enjoy the vibes, if you don't, if you're trying to be funny, if you're trying to be slick, it's okay. This isn't the space for you, and that's okay. It's fine. But if you really enjoy what we have to offer here and you take it seriously, and really you just have want to have a good time, and fuck the haters and fuck what the haters got to say, this might be the space for you. So, all right, y'all. That's everything that I got to say. Much love to y'all. Have a good night. Have a blessed evening, and I will see you guys on Friday.